Have you ever felt like you didn't belong? Like this world never fully understood you? Maybe you've walked through life with this quiet sense that there was something more, something inside you waiting to be awakened. Not just ambition, not just hope, a knowing, a deep, invisible thread pulling you towards something you couldn't name. From a young age, you noticed what others ignored. You sensed things, you saw patterns. People told you to be realistic, to stay quiet, to stop dreaming. But you knew, deep down, you knew you were different, and not in a way that made you better, just set apart, like your soul came here for something bigger. Let me be clear, you are not here by accident. You didn't land on this video by luck. Something much greater than you, something beyond logic or coincidence, aligned your steps to arrive here. This is not a typical video. This is a calling, a wake-up call. Because whether you realize it or not, you've always been on a journey, a spiritual journey toward remembering who you really are. You are the chosen one. You've seen the signs, the repeating numbers, the strange synchronicities, the feeling that reality itself is bending around you. At first, you thought it was imagination, maybe coincidence, but now it's becoming undeniable. The moments of clarity, the dreams that feel too real, the internal shifts you can't explain. This is your awakening. Quantum physics already shows us that everything is energy, vibration, frequency. And when your soul starts vibrating differently, when you break free from the collective program, the universe responds. You begin to attract moments like this, moments that wake you up, that shake you, that pull back the curtain and say, look deeper. Everything in your life, the pain, the isolation, the rejection, it wasn't punishment, it was preparation. Because chosen ones aren't born into comfort. They're born into resistance, into contrast, because that's what activates purpose. And your purpose? It's bigger than you think. They tried to silence you. They tried to make you feel small. But the very reason you were rejected by the world is because you were never meant to be molded by it. You were meant to break the mold. You were meant to bring light into systems designed to keep people in the dark. That's why you've always felt misaligned with the noise around you. Because your soul came from a place of clarity, and it's remembering now. This isn't just a video. This is the signal you've been waiting for. The shift is happening all over the world. Chosen ones are waking up everywhere. And you've just stepped into alignment with something ancient, sacred, and powerful. But there's more to uncover. Much more. In the next part of this journey, we're going to dive deep into the signs you've been ignoring, the clues that have been scattered throughout your life, waiting for you to see them. The doors that opened without explanation, the whispers you didn't trust, and how all of it is connected by something beyond science, a divine intelligence that's been guiding you all along. But before we move on, if something inside of you is resonating, if you feel that pulse of recognition, take a moment right now and breathe into it. Don't just watch this passively. Become part of it. Like this message so others can find it. Subscribe and activate notifications so you never miss a moment of this unfolding truth. And if your spirit is stirred right now, if you feel that inner voice saying, this is it, then type one word in the comments, chosen. Let the world know you're awake. And this time, you're not going back to sleep. You always felt it. Even as a child, there was something about you that didn't quite fit into the world around you. While others were busy trying to belong, you were observing, questioning, feeling. There was a sensitivity in you that no one taught you how to manage. You could walk into a room and feel the energy shift. You could hear what wasn't being said. You could see behind the masks. And while others laughed at simple things, something in your soul was reaching upward, searching for more. You didn't know the word for it back then. You just felt out of place. You weren't broken. You were different. And this difference? It wasn't a flaw, it was a sign. You were always the one left out, the one they didn't understand. Too intense, too quiet, too emotional, too deep. But now, you're beginning to see what that really meant. It wasn't rejection, it was redirection. You were never meant to blend in, because you were never meant to be like them. While they followed the crowd, your soul cried for something real. That ache inside you, that wasn't weakness. That was your higher self calling, whispering, pulling you toward something greater. This is what many call the divine calling. And it's not random that you've heard it more than once. You have a purpose. Maybe you've heard that phrase so often it lost meaning. But what if it wasn't just a cliche? What if every sleepless night, every breakdown, every silent moment staring at the ceiling was part of something sacred? something designed to wake you up to who you truly are. You are the chosen one. Not chosen because you are better, chosen because you are willing. Willing to see beyond what's easy, willing to question what others blindly accept, willing to feel when others numb. This pain you carry isn't just emotional, it's spiritual. And the symptoms of the chosen one are always hidden in plain sight. The spiritual awakening doesn't come with fireworks. It comes with loneliness, with tears, with the sudden realization that your life was never yours to begin with. It was always part of a bigger blueprint. Maybe you've been feeling different from others your whole life. Maybe you've been told to get over it, to move on, to just be normal. But that feeling, that knowing, it didn't go away, because your soul refused to forget what it came here for. Why did God choose you? Because the world is shifting, and it needs those who can see in the dark, those who can feel the invisible, those who know, without proof, that something much bigger is unfolding. And here's the part no one tells you. The signs were always there. The dreams, the déjà vu, the subtle nudges, the numbers, the coincidences that weren't coincidences at all. You weren't imagining it. You were being guided, trained, initiated. Every moment you felt like an outsider wasn't punishment. It was preparation. Because chosen ones don't follow paths. They carve them. And what if I told you that the biggest sign of all wasn't out there, but right in front of you? If you're feeling this deep in your chest right now, if every word feels like it's pulling memories from your soul, then you're not watching this video by chance. If this has stirred something in you, if you've ever felt this kind of inner knowing, type yes in the comments. Let's see how many of us are waking up, because what you're about to discover next will change everything. But you didn't always notice the signs. They were subtle, almost hidden in plain sight. Maybe it was that recurring 1111 on your phone screen that gave you goosebumps, or the chill down your spine when a specific song played, one you couldn't explain why, but it moved something deep inside you. There were moments when you stared into the mirror and swore. You weren't looking at the same version of yourself. That flicker in your eyes, that strange pull toward something bigger, it wasn't your imagination. It was your spiritual awakening. These were signs you were chosen. You just didn't know how to read them. Until now. The chosen one meaning isn't about fame or recognition. It's about resonance, vibration, a frequency you've been tuned into since before birth. It's part of your spiritual journey, and each invisible sign has been gently guiding you back to that original path. The problem? The world taught you to ignore them, to silence your intuition, to call it coincidence. But chosen ones don't live by coincidence. They live by divine patterns, by design, not chance. And once you start recognizing these patterns, you begin decoding the reality around you. That's when everything starts shifting. Now let's make this real. Let's amplify your senses, like the biggest dark YouTube creators do to break the algorithm. You'll see fast-paced flashes of clocks hitting 11:11, a heartbeat synced to rapid scene changes, words like calling and activation pulsing on screen, pattern interrupts, hard cuts, symbolic imagery. This triggers your brain to wake up, to snap out of autopilot and feel. That's not just editing, that's neural rewiring, and we're doing the same thing now. For your life. Let me tell you a truth most people won't. There's a reason you've always felt different from others. That difference isn't your weakness, it's your map. Every time you felt out of place, it was a breadcrumb back to your soul's blueprint. That's why you've always sensed things before they happened. Why people were drawn to you, but also afraid of you. You reflect a part of them they've buried. And that power, it's magnetic, it's divine. It's what they don't want you to realize. And now, here's something crucial. Secret number 1. Every chosen one receives a moment of clarity, where the invisible becomes visible. Maybe it was in a dream, maybe during a breakdown, maybe in total silence. But that moment changed something in you. That was your activation code. And if you're watching this, that moment is happening again, right now. But hold on, because what's coming next will shatter your old beliefs. You need to stay here for secrets number 2 and number 3. What you'll hear next is what even spiritual teachers won't dare to say out loud. This is the part that will either free you or scare you. But if you're still here, it means your soul is ready. Pause for a second. Comment below right now. Which sign came to you first? Was it the 11:11? A sudden vision? A deep, inexplicable knowing? Type it in. Let's find each other. You're not alone anymore. This is the call. This is the frequency. and you just tuned in. And now we reach the moment where the truth becomes undeniable. You weren't just feeling different. You weren't just seeing signs. You were being called. This wasn't random. This wasn't luck. This was God, the force behind the galaxies, the frequency that shaped time itself. That higher intelligence chose you, not because you were better, but because you were ready, because you were willing, because your soul held a vibration strong enough to carry light through the darkness. You have a purpose. And that purpose is not for you to hide from or to wait for someone else to confirm. It's already written in the fabric of your being. You were chosen for a purpose, and this choosing has nothing to do with ego. It's not about being special in the way the world defines it. It's about surrender, about service, about standing in the middle of chaos and remembering who you are. It's about being the one who walks through fire and still chooses to heal, the one who feels the weight of the world but continues to rise. That's the higher calling, and deep down, you've always known it was there. Let me tell you something that might shift everything. Every chosen soul has a moment when their pain becomes their mission, when the rejection becomes fuel, when the isolation becomes clarity. Maybe right now you feel stuck, small, invisible. But remember this, God doesn't choose the loudest. He chooses the willing. And when you start walking in alignment with this divine calling, you don't have to force anything. Doors open, people appear, synchronicities multiply. You become magnetic, not because you're chasing purpose, but because you've become it. Let me show you what this looks like. Imagine a man who grew up never fitting in, sensitive, quiet, always questioning why he was so different. He spent years running from himself, numbing the call with distractions, afraid to be seen. But then came the collapse. Everything he clung to fell apart, and in the silence that followed he heard it. The voice, the pull, the fire. He stopped running. He listened, and he rose. Today he speaks to millions, not with perfection, but with presence, not with answers, but with surrender. He turned his pain into purpose. He became the path. This is not a story about someone else. This could be you. Because now that you know the truth, the real question becomes, what will you do with it? How will you move forward knowing that you're not just another person passing through time, but a soul chosen to shift it? This is your moment of transformation. This is where you stop waiting for someone to rescue you. This is where you become the version of you that your future is already calling. Breathe this in. Let it land. Let it burn through the lies you've believed about yourself. You are not broken. You are not behind. You are right on time. And everything that has led you here was sacred, designed, aligned. This is not the end of your story. It's the ignition, the activation of your true path. If you feel that fire rising inside, if you're ready to answer that divine voice, type it below. I accept. This is more than a video. This is a soul contract. And if someone you love has ever felt like they were meant for more, send them this message now. Share this truth. Because when one of us awakens, we all rise. And now, something has shifted inside of you. You can feel it. The pieces are finally falling into place. Everything you once thought was random, every feeling of not belonging, every sleepless night, every strange sign you couldn't explain, was never chaos. It was alignment. You weren't lost. You were being led. You felt different for a reason. That wasn't a weakness. It was your signal. You saw signs not because you were hallucinating, but because your soul refused to forget the truth. And now you know. You are the chosen one. That doesn't mean life will be easy, but it does mean you'll never walk blind again. Because something inside of you woke up. The spiritual awakening is no longer a distant idea. It's happening now in real time through you. And when that truth clicks, something irreversible happens. Your eyes open. Your heart expands. Your old self begins to shed. You start feeling the divine purpose in every heartbeat. The divine timing of your pain, the precision in your path. You begin to move differently, think differently, feel differently. You no longer chase meaning, you become it. You carry it, you embody it. That's why you were chosen. Not because you were perfect, but because your soul could carry the light through the darkest places. Because you were born with a frequency capable of breaking chains, healing bloodlines, and activating others just by being who you are. And now your only task is to remember, again and again, every day, to wake up and choose to live in alignment with that sacred assignment. Nothing will ever be the same after this. Your relationships will feel different. Your thoughts will sharpen. You'll start seeing the world not through your eyes, but through your soul. And most of all, you'll begin to understand that your story was never about survival. It was about awakening. It was about becoming. Let's take a breath together now. Just one breath. Inhale the truth that was buried. Exhale the lies that were planted. You are not small. You are not broken. You were never ordinary. This life, it's not happening to you. It's happening through you. And from this moment forward, you're no longer walking the path alone. You've been initiated. And now, it's time to move. So let me ask you one thing, not as a narrator, but as someone who was called to. Are you ready? Because this is where your real life begins. This is the end of who you were, and the beginning of who you really are. The signs brought you here. The pain shaped you. The call awakened you. And now the only thing left is to step into the next version of yourself, the version that was waiting this whole time. And yes, everything will change. Your energy, your choices, your circle, your vision. You will begin to attract what's aligned and release what's not. And people may not understand it. Let them go. You weren't chosen to be understood. You were chosen to become. Now, if this video touched your soul, if even one sentence stirred something deep inside you, don't leave without completing this moment. Like this video right now, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss what comes next. Type Renacito in the comments if you're ready to be reborn into your truth, not the identity the world gave you, the one your soul always knew. And most importantly, share this video with 3 people, 3 souls that you know have felt this same calling, but maybe never had the words for it. Be the signal for someone else. Because in our next video, when the matrix breaks, a new version of you is born. We're going to reveal the invisible chains that have been holding your spirit hostage. We're going to show you how to finally collapse the old self and walk free. You're not going to want to miss that. Stay until the final frame. You'll see something that just might shake you. A code, a phrase, a truth. And from there, the journey continues.